MVP's striking style is one of the most unique and recognizable in MMA. With a background in point-style karate and kickboxing, his movements are fluid, dynamic, and incredibly difficult to predict. He fights out of a wide stance and uses a mix of feints, unorthodox angles, and quick directional changes to keep his opponents guessing. Unlike traditional MMA strikers, MVP thrives on being unpredictable, creating opportunities for counterattacks that can end a fight in the blink of an eye. His ability to manage distance is unparalleled. MVP uses his length effectively to stay just outside his opponent's range, luring them into overextending before punishing them with precision strikes. Fighters who don't have experience dealing with his unique timing often find themselves swinging at air or walking into counters. Against a striker like Shara Magomedov, who relies on power and aggression, MVP's elusiveness could frustrate the Russian and lead to openings for devastating counterattacks. Second, experience in high-stakes fights. One of MVP's biggest advantages is his experience. With a professional record of 22-3 and years competing at the highest levels of MMA, he has faced a diverse array of opponents, including elite grapplers, wrestlers, and strikers. This wealth of experience gives him a well-rounded understanding of how to approach different styles, including someone like Magomedov, who brings a heavy focus on striking. MVP has also been part of numerous high-pressure situations, including headlining major events in organizations like Bellator. He's fought in enemy territory, dealt with hostile crowds, and faced elite-level competition under the spotlight. This kind of composure is crucial in a matchup where every mistake could be capitalized on. In contrast, while Shara Magomedov is undefeated and extremely dangerous, he hasn't yet faced the same level of competition or fought in as many marquee events. The added pressure of UFC Saudi Arabia might weigh more heavily on Magomedov than on the battle-tested Page. 3. Physical advantages and range control. Standing 6 feet 3 inches with a long reach, MVP has a natural physical advantage over most of his opponents, and this fight is no different. While Magomedov is a powerful striker, he's slightly shorter and has a reach disadvantage, which MVP will likely exploit. MVP's ability to control range is one of his signature skills. He uses his long limbs not only to land strikes from a distance, but also to keep his opponents out of their preferred range. Against Magomedov, who thrives in mid-range exchanges where he can unleash his explosive combinations, MVP's ability to maintain distance will be critical. Look for MVP to use his jab, side kicks, and teep kicks to disrupt Magomedov's rhythm and keep him at bay. If Shara struggles to close the distance, it could throw off his entire game plan. Fourth, MVP's fight IQ and adaptability. One of the most underrated aspects of MVP's game is his fight IQ. He's an incredibly cerebral fighter who knows how to adjust his approach based on his opponent's tendencies. This adaptability was evident in his fights against a variety of opponents, including those who tried to pressure him, take him down, or outstrike him. MVP's ability to stay calm and make smart decisions under pressure is a key reason for his success. Shara Magomedov is an explosive and dangerous striker, but he hasn't yet shown the same level of adaptability in his fights. Magomedov's style relies heavily on overwhelming his opponents with power and aggression. If MVP can force Shara out of his comfort zone by controlling the pace and dictating the range, it could expose gaps in Magomedov's game that MVP is well equipped to exploit. 5. Defensive mastery and counter-striking. Defense is another area where MVP shines. His unorthodox style isn't just about offense, it also makes him incredibly hard to hit cleanly. MVP's wide stance and lateral movement allow him to evade attacks with ease. Opponents often find themselves swinging at air or overcommitting, which plays right into MVP's counter-striking ability. Magomedov, for all his power and precision, tends to rely on his opponent standing in front of him. He's most dangerous when he can engage in exchanges and land his powerful combinations. However, against MVP, those opportunities may be few and far between. Magomedov's aggressive style could leave him open to counters, especially if he becomes frustrated by MVP's elusiveness. 6. Psychological warfare. MVP is a master of psychological warfare, both inside and outside the cage. His flashy, showboating style is designed not only to entertain fans, but also to rattle his opponents. Fighters who let MVP's antics get under their skin often make mistakes, abandoning their game plan in an attempt to make him pay. This plays directly into MVP's hands, as he thrives in chaotic situations where his opponents are emotional and less focused. Magomedov, while confident and composed, has never faced an opponent with MVP's flair and ability to play mind games. If MVP can get into Shara's head early, whether through his striking, movement, or taunts, it could give him a significant mental edge as the fight progresses. Seventh, potential weaknesses in Magomedov's style. While Magomedov is an incredibly dangerous striker with knockout power in all his limbs, his style isn't without its flaws. He relies heavily on forward pressure and tends to leave himself open during exchanges. Against less experienced or slower opponents, this hasn't been an issue. However, against someone as fast and precise as MVP, those openings could prove costly. Additionally, Magomedov's ground game remains relatively untested at the elite level. While this fight is likely to stay on the feet, MVP has shown the ability to mix in takedowns and grappling when necessary. If MVP senses that Magomedov is struggling to adapt to his striking, he could surprise him with a well-timed takedown to further disrupt his rhythm. 8. Cardio and durability. MVP has shown excellent cardio throughout his career, often maintaining his speed and explosiveness deep into fights. His conditioning could be a key factor if the fight goes the distance. Magomedov, while explosive early, has yet to prove that he can maintain the same level of intensity in a high-paced fight against a top-tier opponent. If MVP can weather the early storm and drag the fight into the later rounds, his superior conditioning could become a decisive factor. While Shara Magomedov is an undefeated and dangerous opponent with a bright future, Venom Page's unique skill set, experience, and physical advantages make him a formidable challenge. MVP's ability to control range, adapt to his opponent's style, and exploit openings with precision strikes gives him a clear path to victory. If MVP can frustrate Magomedov, avoid the Russian's power shots, and dictate the pace of the fight, there's a strong chance he will emerge victorious at UFC Saudi Arabia